Hello. Good morning. Claire Ackers here, and today I am talking about one of my favourite topics, imposter syndrome. And today I am talking to you if you are a female founder or a female entrepreneur and you are feeling like a fraud or a phony or who the hell am I to try and run a business, or like someone's going to tap you on the shoulder and say there's been a mistake, sorry, could you just go back to the day job, and it's all been your luck's run out and that's it for you. Or maybe you feel like you are not worthy of the success that you dream of, or you feel like you're not deserving of it. Or maybe you simply feel like you are not good enough to pull this off, to create the dream life and dream business that you dream of when you set up a business in the first place. So in this conversation, I am going to give you the 7 biggest signs that I see in female entrepreneurs and female founders um, when it comes to working out whether they really are struggling with imposter syndrome. And then I am going to give you my 5-step action plan, 5 steps that you can take away, understand what's going on for you when it comes to imposter syndrome, and start to put into practice to make a difference straight away so imposter syndrome stops making you feel small and safe, but ultimately stuck in where you are with your business right now. My name is Claire Ackers. I'm an authenticity coach and I empower female founders to build incredible businesses, aligned, authentic, incredible businesses that are capable of changing the world. I've now got over 15 years of coaching experience, and I'm the creator of the Audacity method, which is a proven coaching framework, which helps female founders rip up the rule book, stop asking for permission to do what they want to do, um, ditch their imposter syndrome, and just pull it off to create the life and businesses of their dreams. And I have helped so many female founders go through this method I'm about to share with you. And my hope is that you come away from this conversation feeling a flicker of excitement and feeling empowered to do something about your imposter syndrome. Make sure you have pen and paper because this is a jam-packed conversation. I'm not just going to talk at you. You are going to get some actionable advice. So go get a pen and paper, take notes, and get ready to take some action. And if you're watching me live, please say hello in the comments. I always love to know who is watching me live. And if you are catching up later, please say hello with #replay. And don't forget to let me know either in the comments or by private message what has resonated with you about what I am talking about. So, first things first, what is imposter syndrome? So, imposter syndrome is that feeling that you're a fraud, you're a phony, that you've got something to feel fraudulent about, that somebody's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, there has been a mistake. Sorry, this life is not for you. Who the heck are you to try and grow your dream business? Could you just go back into the corner, please, and stop taking brave risks? You're nobody special. You got where you are by luck or as a tick box exercise or by meritocracy or by who you know or anything like that. And that luck is about to run out. And if you struggle with imposter syndrome, you are not alone. Up to 70% of professionals, men and women, struggle with imposter syndrome. So it's really common if it's something you do struggle with. And I want to make a really important distinction because imposter syndrome has become a bit of a buzzword. And it is not, it is different from that feeling of you're scared about something or you're nervous about something. And I think imposter syndrome has become overused when somebody is just a bit nervous or scared or doesn't know how to do something. That is the type of situation where you can apply, that idea of feel the fear and do it anyway. Whereas imposter syndrome is really different in that you literally feel like an imposter in your own body. You don't know how to come out from somebody's shadow. You don't know how to figure it out because you just feel there's something that you feel fraudulent about and you feel like there is something wrong with you rather than just being scared of a thing. And I hope that makes sense, and you understand the distinction between the two. So, how do you know if it's imposter syndrome? So these are the 7 biggest signs. There's 7. The 7 biggest signs that I see in female founders and female entrepreneurs when it comes to imposter syndrome. So take notes, and let me know in the comments which of these you resonate with. Number 1 is you feel a fraud or a phony. It's only a matter of time before somebody taps you on the shoulder and asks you who the hell you think you are. And if you're running a business, you might see this coming up when you're pitching for stuff, or you lose out to something, or a client rejects you, or something goes wrong. It really, really hits you and you think, oh my gosh, who the hell am I to try and pull this off? Number 2 is you attribute your success to luck, or being in the right place at the right time, or computer error, or tick box exercise, or nepotism, anything but having earned it. You were just in the right place at the right time. You got that contract because you knew the person, because you worked them on the project 10 years ago. It's just down to success or luck. So that's number 2. Number 3 is you seek approval or permission. You don't trust your own judgment or your own intuition or your own gut instincts. So you wait for the green light for somebody else. And a desperate need for recognition comes into this one. Number 4 is you are a chronic overachiever. My God, have you got something to prove? You never feel satisfied, you never feel like you can relax, and you never feel like the work you have done is enough. You work your bum off and you over prepare for stuff, but it's just exhausting because you just never feel that level of satisfaction and like you've done enough. Number 5 is you are paralyzed by new level, new devil. Now, this is a really interesting one. And this is when every single time you step outside your comfort zone, imposter syndrome pops up to go, not sure about that. Literally a new devil pops up to try and bring you back into your comfort zone. Now, I'm going to talk a bit more about this one in a moment, but just let me know for the moment if that resonates, that idea of new level, new devil. Or a challenge or an obstacle might pop up to try and prevent you from stepping outside that comfort zone. That's another example of a new devil. Number 6 is you procrastinate. Procrastination is a really, really good way of keeping busy, so you don't need to focus on the scary stuff. You don't need to confront that imposter syndrome. It's also that idea of being a busy fool. You look at your to-do list and there's mountains and mountains of stuff to do and you never get through it. And it's also a really good way of hiding, because if you're busy with the to-do list stuff, then you don't actually need to lift the lid and start looking at the stuff that might be a little bit scary, the stuff that makes imposter syndrome come in. Because if you were getting really, really honest, that is the stuff that's actually going to move the needle for you, that's actually going to allow you to leap forward in your business, but you just don't know how to. And then finally, number 7 is you obsess over mistakes or criticism. You're the kind of person who wakes up at 2 a.m. remembering a teeny tiny little mistake that nobody else probably even noticed, and just beating yourself up about it. Or maybe you get some constructive criticism and you take it to heart. You take it to mean there's no point even trying. You're the worst business owner in the world, and there's no point you even trying this stuff because it's just not for you. And I see this all the time, this one. And nobody is. And the fact is that probably nobody else even noticed in the first place that you have made that mistake. So let me know which of these 7 signs you resonated with, or are there any others that came up for you? So let's talk about what to do about all this. Now, what I'm going to do now is share with you my 5-step proven framework for addressing and stepping away and letting go of that imposter syndrome that's keeping you small and safe and stuck. And I go into this process in a heck of a lot more detail inside my Audacity coaching program. This is pillar 3 of the coaching program, and I call it taking your power back, because that is what it is. It is taking your power back and learning to master your mindset about all this stuff. So if you would like my help to go deeper with this, give me a shout. But what I'm going to give you here is a taster of how to do this and what is possible for you when you decide that you are no longer willing to tolerate imposter syndrome. So the first thing I want you to know, and I really want you to think about this because it's really important, is imposter syndrome is just your mind trying to keep you safe. It's just your mind trying to keep you safe. You see, 4% of what is going on in our mind is conscious. You deciding to watch this video, you deciding to call a new client, you deciding you've done enough work for the day and you want to shut down your computer and go and spend some time with your kids in half term. That is all the conscious stuff. But what that means is that 96% is going on below the surface. You know, it's like an iceberg. It's enormous under there. And most of it is running on automatic programming. And most of that automatic programming is designed to keep you safe. Not happy, not successful, not self-actualized. It's just to keep you safe. Automatic programming such as remembering to blink or blinking subconsciously. We don't want to have to remember to do that. So your subconscious does it for you. Or breathing while you're asleep. We definitely don't want to have to remember to do that. We want it to happen automatically. And safety to your mind is familiarity. Think of it like water running down a hill. All it wants to do is find that path of least resistance. And so whenever you step outside your comfort zone, your mind instantly is doing every single thing it can, and it has considerable tips and tricks at its disposal to bring you back into that perceived comfort zone, even if it is not serving you, even if it is not getting you where you want to go. It's just seeking that familiarity. Think of it like flight or fright. You step out your comfort zone, it panics immediately, thinking, there's a big red light flashing, not safe, not safe, not safe. And so your mind will do anything to get out that scary place and back into your comfort zone and that perceived safety, even if it's not serving you. It's why willpower doesn't work. You can go so far with willpower and then it just won't tolerate that feeling. It just wants to bring you back within your comfort zone. It's why lottery winners win a load of money, blow it all within a year, and are back to being on benefits because they don't feel safe with that level of wealth. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's also why we self-sabotage, because we just can't cope with being that far outside a comfort zone. So where does this familiarity come from? Well, it's formed when we're kids, and this is your origin story. So your origin story is formed between the ages of 5 and 7, and your beliefs, your story, your narrative, it comes from your parents, it comes from your teachers, it comes from your peers, it comes from brownies or guides or church or any of those kind of kids activities that you do. And it's formed in your childhood and adolescence. So your origin story, your core belief, is formed between the ages of 5 and 7. And then it's strengthened in your adolescence when you're becoming acutely aware of something somebody said to you. And then by the time you're an adult, and imposter syndrome is showing up for you as an adult, you can trace the breadcrumbs, you can trace the golden thread of the origin story right through to how imposter syndrome is showing for you today. So in coaching, we have the opportunity to revisit that script and change it if it's not serving us. So your performance, how you are showing up in your business, the success you're having, the results you're getting, equals your potential minus interference. I'll say that again because it's important. Your performance equals your potential minus interference. And interference is imposter syndrome. It's that little voice that says you're not good enough, you're not worthy, there's been a mistake, you're a fraud, get back in your box. That is the interference. So here's the 5 steps to getting rid of that imposter syndrome. Step 1 is to look at your origin story. How was your childhood affected by something somebody said to you? So, for example, I put my hand up in class when I was a kid to answer a question. I got the answer completely wrong, and the whole class fell about laughing at me, including the teacher. And you can bet it took years and years and years before I felt safe being visible, because my imposter syndrome said to me, it's not safe for you to be visible, you're going to be rejected, everyone's going to laugh at you, who the hell are you to go on camera and talk about this stuff? It's not safe for you to do that, all because of that origin story that wasn't a kid that meant I got laughed at when I got something wrong. Step 1 is looking at your origin story and thinking about what stories do you have that resonate in your own particular brand of imposter syndrome. And then step 2 is questioning, and you might want to write this questioning sequence down because it's really, really important. So question 1 is, what am I making this mean? So when something happens to you in your daily life to trigger your imposter syndrome, question 1 is, what am I making this mean? What narrative, what story, what meaning am I attaching to this situation? And you're going to trace it back to your origin story. And then question 2 is it honest? Now this bit's really important because people forget to do this bit. And how we feel is always honest. We don't want to squish down and deny and ignore our feelings, because then they come out in all sorts of weird and wonderful ways. So you need to do things to feel the feelings that you're feeling and let them ground and process and just go through your body. So for me, that's yoga, that's meditation, that's running, that's doing all the things that I do to feel the feelings and acknowledge them in my body. Then question 3 is it true? And if you're really, really honest and you peel back the layers of the onion around the narrative, you will find a teeny tiny kernel of truth in the situation. And in the story that I just told, the kernel of truth was, I got an answer wrong. I tried to answer a question in class and I got it wrong. That's the only bit of truth there. Everything else is just layers of meaning and narrative that I've piled on top of it. So then question 4 is this helping me get where I want to go? And spoiler alert, it's not. It's not going to help you get where you want to go. So then we move on to step 3, which is reprogramming. So reprogramming is where you get to pick a new belief. So if my old belief was it's not safe for me to be visible, people are going to be mean to me, then my new belief might be I have value to add, and I love going on camera and sharing stuff that I think is really important. People resonate, and I can help people by speaking out about this stuff. So step 3 is all about reprogramming that old belief and picking a new one. And then step 4 is acclimatizing. So acclimatizing is all about slowly, carefully, reprogramming your mind to accept that new belief as truth. Remember, we talked about that familiarity, that all your mind wants is familiarity. And then the way that you make the new belief familiar is by doing it day after day after day. So if you can collect, say, 2 pieces of evidence daily about your new belief. So for me, carrying on with the example, it might be that people reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, thank you, I needed to hear that today. And I make a little note of this on my phone. I screenshot the nice feedback I get, and it helps me know that, yeah, actually, it is important for me to speak out about this stuff. So you're collecting evidence. Think of it like climbing Everest. If you went straight away and started to climb Everest, it wouldn't be very good for you. You'd probably die. So what you need to do is acclimatize. So you go to base camp, you acclimatize there. Then you go to the next level, you acclimatize there. Then you go to the next level, and before you know it, you've reached the top and you've gone further than you ever could. But you do it slowly, you do it surely, you do it repeatedly, and you acclimatise. And then finally, step number 5 is all about committing. This is daily work. This is not a one and done situation. You have got to do this work daily. It doesn't need to take long, but you do need to be committed. So it's all about finding a daily practice to help you commit to this new belief that you want. And be prepared for sabotage, both your own self-sabotage, where something goes wrong and you take it as evidence that there's no point even trying, this load of old bollocks and there's no point. Or somebody pops out of the woodwork to go, oh, you've changed, and you take it as evidence that, oh my gosh, I can't do this, everyone's laughing at me. And you get to ricochet back to the old belief, even if it's not serving you, and your mind can go, see, I knew there was no point even trying to do this stuff. So you've got to commit. You've got to do this daily, and you've got to be prepared for new devil as well. So every time you step outside your comfort zone, something is going to pop up to try and get you back to that old familiar belief. And if that happens, all you need to do is go right back to step 1 of this process and start again. And you keep on doing it, and you keep on doing it. It's not easy, but honestly, it is so, so worth it. And it's powerful. It's so powerful knowing that you have got this. You've taken your power back and you've got control over your mind. So this is it. You have got your 7 signs. If you are struggling with imposter syndrome as a female entrepreneur or female founder, and you have got a 5-step system to let go of it, to get rid of it, and to level up from your imposter syndrome. And if you would like my help to go deeper with this stuff, if you understand the framework, but you'd like me to help you figure this stuff out, doors are open to my Audacity program at the moment. It's a one-to-one coaching program. So have a little look at that and send me a direct message if you would like to have a chat. And if you would like to benchmark and understand how imposter syndrome is affecting you in your business, I have got a free scorecard. There is a link to it in the notes for this conversation. It's free. There's 30 questions. You answer 30 questions, multiple choice. Take you 5 minutes, and you will get a score, so you can benchmark where you are at the moment, and also some my recommendations about how you can make some changes and have a more authentic and aligned business. That is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a lovely day.